Hello and welcome. I am Suit&Tie, Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the 87th review of the What Is It playlist. Now, a few months ago, I opened the What Is It playlist up to some third-tier products, and this is one of them by my rating scale. Longhorn is a third-tier product. This is my review for the What Is It playlist of Longhorn Straight. What to expect here, I am not quite sure. And the reason for that is I have heard chatter online in the last couple months since the sticker has changed on the lid that the straight has changed. Over the last number of years, straight from Longhorn has had sort of a bad name, and it was somewhat deserving. That said, when I did the peach Longhorn a month or two ago, I did notice that the cut had seemed to improve. So that may be a factor here, but the chatter I've heard is people talking about that the straight's flavor is better. So we will see. This product I have not had in quite a while at this point, so we're going to take it over the desk, take a look at the product, the packaging, and the product inside. All right? And then we'll take it back up top for me to try it out. Back in a moment. Okay, so here we are, but before I address anything about the packaging or the product inside, let me just get out of the way for the two people, maybe three, maybe only one, that will comment on the shape of my hands. This past 2 weeks, I have been having to wear gloves outside. Not so much due to temperatures, more due to what I was working with, dealing with. Thorns, basically. All kinds of thorns, though, now that I think about it. Numerous types of thorns. Anyway, so my hands are a little beat up. That's what happens with my eczema when I wear work gloves. Now, moving on. So, you have a sticker on a gray, crappy plastic lid. The layout of the sticker, the design of the sticker, I actually think is an improvement from what they had before. It's a little bit more simplistic, and I think that works for the product. All pretty straightforward. Going around to the side. We will get to that in a second. We will go the opposite direction here. There is the warning label. There is a code. If you want to use the code, try to use the code. Go for it. You have large branding, flavor, and cut. Barcode. And then, flipping this way, we have the manufacturer's information. So it is a product of the Pinkerton Tobacco Company, LP, of Owensboro, Kentucky, USA. There is the comments phone number. Sale only allowed in the United States, at least 65% domestic grown tobacco, which has been sort of the standard for Longhorn products as long as I can remember. It is in fact moist snuff, and the website is longhornsnuff.com. This is a standard size dip can. That is net weight 1.2 ounces. For those overseas, that is 34.02 grams. On the back, you have a laser printed, hard to see code. I am not overly worried about it because the product is in the new stickers, which only started getting to me in the last 6 months. But I think this product is newer than that, so I'm not overly concerned with that code. And you know what? I never have been, and really, I don't think there's ever been a time where I ended up with a dry Pinkerton product, which would be anything from the Longhorn line or the Timberwolf line. Okay? It's sort of textured in the middle and smooth around the edges, the cans. The cans are okay, but they give a little bit too. It's the lids that are a problem with this. But let's get into it. And, whoa, okay, and that's the problem right there. Where this band goes over, the lid's bending in, but the can's bending in too. So the label is just moving away from my thumbnail. And it's even more ridiculous because the labels are sort of papery, like a Copenhagen label. They're not rubbery like something from American Snuff. They should be cutting real easy, and if they were cutting easier, you'd hear that papery tearing sound. But as it is, I've had these cans before in the past, and I might have even had them on some of the reviews where I actually had to pull a knife out and start like sawing. Okay, I think that's it. There we go. And that is what you're looking at inside. And that is a fairly good representation of color. It is in person looking a little bit more moist. I got glare, sort of a glistening coming off it in person. It doesn't seem to be showing on the camera as much. Again, I'm not worried about it. Usually these products in the past have, at times, almost had too much moisture. So as you can see, it's somewhat inconsistent cut-wise. Interesting thing with these products is the blonde highlights that sometimes show. And in here, there are a couple of them. There's one there. There's another one there. There's some actually on the lid that you're not going to be able to tell quite as well. It's sort of cool in a way. It gives the impression to me. Now, I'm not saying that they're actually doing this, that there's different type of leaf being used, but I could not prove that. So that's what you're looking at. Now, that's a really small pinch, but this is just to show you cut and how the product is sort of reacting. As you can see, it's staining when I press down on the paper towel. The moisture's there. In the past, there have been Longhorn products where I almost, as I said, wished there was less moisture. Although, as a third-tier product, this is really the only one, the only brand that if you had to go that cheap, I would suggest to you or anyone, all right? Because everybody else that's in this tier is like a Swisher product or CNN smokeless, etc., so forth. So the cut's not looking too bad. The moisture level's good. The blonde highlights are interesting. And another thing that you can notice with these is, and it's because of the moisture level being higher, they sort of form a puck. Do you see how there's empty space there? It's almost like it's clinging on itself so much. It's formed into a puck. And usually those pucks you can slide around and feel before the can's opened. Not good, not bad. Just speaks to moisture levels. Anyway, we are going to take this up top, and I'm going to see what I think. Yeah, and so looking down at the clock here at 8.5 minutes, I just remembered that this is a short format review. So let's proceed with speed. So it's actually pinching better, you know. Okay. Smell off the can. It's a pretty potent smelling straight, like a classic straight. It smells pretty good, actually. But I don't think the smell of this product was ever this product's problem before. Yeah, they've done something with the cut. I just moved that around with very few floaters. Very few. I'm not saying there's not any, but when I do these reviews on a product like this, I gotta always sort of like check my own bias. Nothing is gonna compare to my Stoker straight cut. And Longhorn straight is definitely not going to be anywhere comparable to that. I got to sort of check myself in my head, you know. I'm I'm going to be honest. This isn't bad at all. Now, I'm having a hard time. The chatter I saw online was saying that it was sweeter and better tasting. It's been so long since I reviewed this product, I can't quite remember what it was before, and I didn't want to bias this review by looking at that one, so I didn't. But even though I can't compare directly to my previous long format review, which this one may bypass in length, I will say this. The cut is improved. The pinching ability of this and in the mouth moving it around is improved. I know that for a fact. I can remember the absolute show before with these products, getting it all over the place. Although I can't tell between then and now what has improved in flavor, the flavor's good. I mean, whether it was bad then or not, the flavor now, present day, is good. It's a straight, classic straight profile. It's not smoky like Copenhagen. It's not tangy like Stoker's. It's what all the lower tier straights try to be, which is Skoal Classic Straight. Unlike Skoal Classic Straight, I'm not quite getting the root beer aspect that some people talk about, although I do sometimes get that with the Skoal product. And there are no whispers of wintergreen, as far as I can tell. Tell you what, I'm pleasantly surprised with these Longhorn products. Am I going to switch over to Longhorn? No. Nicotine is on the lower side, but it is present. It's juicing up. It is handling well in the mouth. I don't know. They've improved this product line. And although, I wouldn't switch over to it myself, if I was jammed up and this is all where I had, at the price, like in Pennsylvania, where I'm at, can of, besides the original Copenhagen, like, the top tier Copenhagen, like the original pouches, Copenhagen products, wintergreen, etc., so forth, are about $5 to $5.50. This is $2. Now, I wouldn't go to it because my Stoker's is only about the same price. But I got some post-nasal drip going on here. I'm still sort of getting over. I got taste back and smell, but I'm still sort of turning the corner, getting past the illness. Yeah, for the price that this should be priced at, which is a little less than half the price of a Copenhagen product, this is worth it. I can't say it's not. I can't say I dislike it. Flavor-wise, nicotine-wise, there's nothing wrong with this, except for the lids. But again, at half the price, is that even? It irritates me, obviously, as you all know. But is it deserving of my irritation? Probably not. I realize that. So, this has been my short format that wasn't really a short format review of Longhorn Straight. I think they've improved the flavor. I know they've improved the cut. The nicotine is enough for me. And at the price, you could always put more in your mouth and not be like, oh my God, I'm going to have to buy another one. Like, you see what I mean? I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew Guy. I do thank you all for watching. As always, do take care of yourselves, and God bless.